Atomic Habits. Introduction Summary. James Clear opens Atomic Habits with a deeply personal story designed to expand your view of how change really happens. Not through dramatic moments, but through small, consistent habits. A life-changing accident. Clear begins by recounting a near-catastrophic injury he suffered in high school when a baseball bat struck him in the face, crushing his nose and fracturing his skull. He faced severe trauma, a long recovery, and months of painful rehabilitation. This wasn't just a physical challenge. It was a moment that forced him to rethink how progress and improvement take place. Rather than bouncing back instantly or relying on willpower alone, Clear rebuilt his life through incremental, consistent routines. He focused on habits as the building blocks of recovery and growth. From simple things like cleaning his room and sleeping early to consistently practicing baseball skills. Over time, these tiny choices accumulated into meaningful improvements. He eventually excelled academically and athletically, even becoming captain of his college baseball team. The core lesson: small changes compound. Clear uses his experience to introduce the core premise of the book. Tiny habits, repeated consistently, create remarkable results. This idea is similar to compound interest in finance. Just as small amounts of money can grow dramatically over time with compound interest, small changes in behavior can produce significant life improvements if repeated daily. Clear points out that big goals can feel overwhelming and demotivating. Small, measurable actions, like improving by just 1% a day, may seem insignificant in the moment, but over time, they multiply into impressive results. He frames habits as atomic, tiny, fundamental units that are easy to overlook, but that contain enormous power when linked together in a system. Systems over goals. From the outset, Clear shifts the focus from goals to systems. Goals are about desired outcomes. Systems are about the processes and environments that create those outcomes. Clear makes the case that sustainable transformation doesn't come from sheer willpower, inspiration, or a single breakthrough moment. It comes from designing the habits, environment, and processes that make good behavior easy and automatic. Identity and habits. Another big idea introduced in the introduction is the concept of identity-based habits, although this is developed more fully in Chapter 2. Clear suggests that the most powerful habit change comes not from focusing on what you want to achieve, but on who you want to become. Every action you take is a vote for the type of person you believe yourself to be, and consistent small wins eventually shape your identity. What the introduction sets up. The introduction prepares you for the rest of the book by illustrating why small changes matter more than massive efforts, showing how consistency beats intensity, emphasizing that habits are about systems and identity, not just goals. Setting the stage for the practical framework Clear will introduce. The 4 laws of behavior change, which help you make good habits obvious, attractive, easy, and satisfying. Bottom line of the introduction. Atomic habits are small, consistent choices that, over time, compound into extraordinary change. To transform your life, focus less on dramatic goals and more on tiny systems that lead you there. Chapter 1. The surprising power of atomic habits. The big idea of the chapter. Small habits don't seem to matter until they matter enormously. James Clear opens the chapter by dismantling a common belief. If you want big results, you need big changes. He argues the opposite. Tiny improvements, repeated consistently, create extraordinary outcomes. 1. Why tiny changes feel useless but aren't. One of the biggest reasons people quit habits is this. They don't see results fast enough. Progress feels invisible. Effort seems pointless. Clear explains that habits work like compound interest. Just as money grows slowly at first and then accelerates, habits show little visible progress early on, suddenly create massive change later. The problem: people judge progress linearly. The reality: growth is exponential. You don't see the payoff immediately, but it's quietly building. 2. The power of 1% improvements. Clear introduces a powerful metaphor. If you improve just 1% every day, after one day, almost nothing changes. After 1 year, you are 37 times better. But if you decline 1% daily, you slowly deteriorate. Eventually, you collapse. The lesson: success is not about radical transformation. It's about tiny, smart choices done consistently. Good habits don't add up. They compound. 3. Habits are the compound interest of self-improvement. Clear expands the idea across life areas. Fitness one workout won't change your body. Knowledge one page won't make you smart. Money $1 won't make you rich. Relationships one kind act won't build trust. But repeated daily, they reshape your life. The key insight: your habits multiply, not add. Small behaviors silently shape your health, your mindset, your confidence, your future. 4. Why bad habits are so dangerous. Bad habits work the same way, just in reverse. Skipping one workout, no problem. Eating junk once, no disaster. Procrastinating today, manageable. But repeated, they compound negatively. The trap: bad habits don't look harmful today. They become harmful later. That's why people don't change. The consequences are delayed. 5. The plateau of latent potential. This is one of the most important ideas in the chapter. Clear describes the plateau of latent potential. You put in effort. You see no results. You feel stuck. You want to quit. This gap between effort and reward is where most people fail. The truth: progress is happening, just not visibly. It's like ice warming from -5 degrés Celsius, -4 degrés Celsius, -3 degrés Celsius, -2 degrés Celsius. Nothing seems to change until 0 degrees Celsius, when ice suddenly melts. The work was never wasted. 6. Breakthroughs are the result of boring repetition. People admire overnight success, sudden transformations, breakthrough moments. But Clear reminds us, breakthroughs are the result of long periods of invisible work. Success looks sudden only because we didn't watch the build-up. 7. You don't rise to the level of goals. You fall to the level of systems. Clear introduces one of the most famous ideas in the book. Goals set direction. Systems create progress. Examples: goal: win a championship. System: train every day. Goal: write a book. System: write 500 words daily. Why goals fail. Winners and losers often have the same goals. Goals are temporary. Goals don't fix bad habits. Why systems win. Systems focus on daily action. Systems create consistency. Systems make success inevitable. 8. Habits shape identity quietly but powerfully. Clear hints at an idea he expands later. Every habit is a vote for the type of person you are becoming. Reading daily: I'm a reader. Exercising: I'm someone who takes care of myself. Showing up on time: I'm reliable. Your identity is not built by grand decisions. It's built by repeated actions. 9. Why focusing on the process changes everything. Instead of asking, why haven't I succeeded yet? Ask, am I improving my system? Instead of chasing outcomes, focus on showing up. Focus on consistency. Focus on small wins. The mindset shift: fall in love with the process. Results will follow. Final message of Chapter 1. Tiny habits don't change your life today. They change the direction of your life forever. Success is not about intensity. It's about consistency. The smallest habits, repeated daily, quietly determine who you become, what you achieve, how far you go. One sentence takeaway: if you want massive change, start microscopically small and don't stop. Chapter 2. How your habits shape your identity, and vice versa. The central idea: lasting change starts with identity, not outcomes. Most people try to change habits the wrong way. They focus on what they want to achieve, what results they want, what goals they want to hit. James Clear flips the equation. To change what you do, you must change who you believe you are. 1. The 3 layers of behavior change. Clear introduces a powerful framework with 3 layers of change, like an onion. 1. Outcomes: what you get. Lose weight. Write a book. Make money. Win a race. This is where most people start and fail. 2. Processes what you do. Exercise routines. Writing habits. Saving systems. Practice schedules. This is better, but still incomplete. 3. Identity. Who you are. I am a healthy person. I am a writer. I'm disciplined. I am someone who shows up. Identity is the deepest layer. When identity changes, behavior follows naturally. Why outcome-based habits don't last. Clear explains why goal-focused change is fragile. Goals are temporary. Once you reach them, motivation fades. Failure feels like personal defeat. Relapse is common. Example, I want to lose 10 kilograms. Once achieved, habits disappear. Outcome-based change asks, what do I want to achieve? Identity-based change asks, who do I want to become? 3. Identity-based habits, the real game changer. Clear introduces the book's most famous idea. Every action you take is a vote for the type of person you wish to become. You don't need 100% consistency. You just need enough votes. One workout a vote for I'm active. One page read a vote for I'm a reader. One honest action a vote for I'm trustworthy. Identity isn't built in a day. It's built through repetition. 4. Why identity is so powerful. Humans strive to be consistent with their self-image. If you believe, I'm bad at math, you avoid math. I'm not a morning person, you resist mornings. I'm lazy, effort feels unnatural. Your habits protect your identity, even when it hurts you. That's why real change feels uncomfortable. You're not just changing behavior, you're changing who you think you are. 5. The two-step identity change process. Clear gives a simple formula. Step 1. Decide the type of person you want to be. Not, I want to run a marathon, but I want to be the kind of person who doesn't miss workouts. Ask, who is the person that gets this result? What do they do daily? What do they believe about themselves? Step 2. Prove it to yourself with small wins. Identity is built through evidence. Start small. Make it easy to win. Let repetition convince your brain. Confidence comes from kept promises, not motivation. 6. Why small habits matter so much. Big changes feel inspiring. Small habits feel insignificant. But small habits are easier to repeat. Create quick identity reinforcement. Build trust with yourself. Reduce internal resistance. You don't rise by intensity. You rise by consistency. 7. Identity is flexible, not fixed. Clear quietly dismantles the idea of fixed personality. You are not just undisciplined, naturally messy, bad with money. These are stories reinforced by repeated habits. Change the habits. Change the evidence. Change the identity. 8. Habits are the bridge between who you are and who you want to be. Habits are not about willpower, motivation, discipline alone. They are about alignment. When habits align with identity, they feel natural. They stick longer. They require less force. 9. The quiet power of becoming. Clear ends the chapter with a subtle but profound insight. You don't need to transform overnight. You need to cast better votes today. Every small action matters. Every repetition shapes identity. Every habit is a building block of the self. Final message of Chapter 2. The most effective way to change your habits is to focus not on what you want to achieve, but on who you want to become. Your habits are not just things you do. They're statements about who you are. One sentence takeaway. Change your habits, change your identity, and your results will follow automatically. Chapter 3. How to build better habits in 4 simple steps. The core idea. All habits follow the same loop. Change the loop, and you change the habit. James Clear explains that habits are not random. They are predictable neurological patterns that run automatically once established. 1. The habit loop. How habits actually work. Clear builds on behavioral science and breaks every habit into 4 stages. Cue. Craving. Response. Reward. This loop runs continuously, shaping behavior, often without conscious thought. 2. Step 1. Cue. The trigger that starts everything. What is a cue? A cue is anything that signals your brain to initiate a behavior. Examples. Phone buzzes, check notifications. Alarm rings, wake up. Stress, eat comfort food. The 5 common cues. Clear explains that most cues fall into 5 categories. Time, 7 a.m. gym. Location, office coffee. Preceding event, after dinner dessert. Emotional state, board scroll. People, friends, habits, mirror. Key insight. You don't need discipline if your cues are well designed. 3. Step 2. Craving, the motivational force. Why craving matters. You don't crave the habit itself. You crave the change and state it provides. You don't crave coffee, you crave alertness. You don't crave social media, you crave connection. You don't crave exercise, you crave vitality or confidence. Why cravings drive behavior. Cravings give habits emotional power. Attach meaning to cues. Determine whether action happens. Without craving, no habit forms. 4. Step 3. Response, the action you take. The response is the actual behavior. Brushing teeth, running, eating junk food, writing. What determines whether you act? Clear highlights 2 main factors. Motivation, ability. If a habit feels too hard, you won't do it, no matter how motivated you are. The rule, habits must be easy enough to do now, not later. 5. Step 4. Reward, why habits stick. The purpose of rewards. Rewards satisfy cravings. Teach your brain that the habit is worth repeating. Close the habit loop. 2 types of rewards. Immediate rewards, pleasure, relief. Delayed rewards, health, success. Bad habits often win because they offer instant gratification. Good habits often lose because rewards come later. 6. Why habits exist at all. Clear explains that habits serve a purpose. They solve problems in your life. Hunger eating, stress distraction, fatigue rest, or stimulation. Bad habits are often good intentions executed poorly. To change habits, understand the problem. Change the solution. 7. The feedback loop of learning. Habits are reinforced by feedback. Cue triggers craving. Response delivers reward. Brain remembers the pattern. Next time, stronger urge. Over time, habits become automatic. 8. Why awareness is the first step to change. Before you can change a habit, you must notice it, name it, understand its loop. Clear emphasizes you cannot improve a habit you're unaware of. This sets up later chapters on habit tracking and habit audits. 9. The 4 laws of behavior change. Preview. Clear introduces the framework that will guide the rest of the book. To build good habits, make it obvious, make it attractive, make it easy, make it satisfying. To break bad habits, make it invisible, make it unattractive, make it difficult, make it unsatisfying. Every habit can be redesigned by adjusting one or more of these laws. Final message of Chapter 3. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. Habits are not about motivation. They're about design. Change the cues. Change the cravings. Change the responses. Change the rewards. 1 sentence takeaway. If you understand the habit loop, you can build or break any habit intentionally. Chapter 4. The man who didn't look right. The central idea. You can't change a habit you don't notice. Before habits can be improved, optimized, or replaced, they must first be made visible. 1. The story behind the chapter title. James Clear opens with a fascinating true story. A man walked into a hospital emergency room. Doctors immediately sensed something was wrong. Not because of test results, but because the man didn't look right. Experienced nurses and doctors couldn't explain it logically. They just knew something was off. Moments later, the man collapsed. What happened? The medical staff had developed pattern recognition through years of repetition. Their brains had learned to spot danger before conscious reasoning kicked in. 2. The power of automatic behavior. Clear uses this story to explain how habits work. Your brain is a prediction machine. It automates repeated actions to save energy. Over time, behaviors become invisible. You don't decide to. Tie your shoes. Check your phone. Lock your door. You just do them. The problem: automation is efficient, but dangerous when habits are bad. 3. Why habits become invisible. Habits fade into the background because they require less conscious thought. The brain shifts control to the subconscious. Attention moves elsewhere. This is why people snack without noticing, scroll endlessly, react emotionally without thinking. The habit isn't gone. It's just hidden from awareness. 4. Awareness precedes change. Clear emphasizes a crucial rule. Before you can change a habit, you must notice it. You can't improve what you don't measure. You can't fix what you don't see. This is why willpower alone fails. You're fighting habits you don't even recognize. 5. The habit scorecard. Making the invisible visible. Clear introduces the habit scorecard, a simple but powerful tool. How it works? Write down your daily habits. From waking up to sleeping, label each habit as positive, negative, neutral, no judgment, just observation. Why it works? Brings unconscious habits into awareness. Reveals patterns. Highlights identity conflicts. 6. Labeling habits with identity in mind. Clear suggests a deeper layer. Ask, does this habit reinforce the identity I want? Example, skipping workouts reinforces I avoid discomfort. Reading daily reinforces I'm a learner. This reframes habits from actions into identity votes. 7. The language of habits matters. Clear explains how language shapes awareness. Instead of saying, I have to wake up early, say, I get to wake up early. This subtle shift changes emotional response, alters habit perception, increases follow-through. Your words shape your habits. 8. Pointing and calling, slowing down automaticity. Clear introduces a technique from Japanese rail systems called pointing and calling. Workers, point at signals. Say actions out loud. Reduce errors dramatically. Why it works? Forces conscious awareness. Interrupts autopilot. Slows behavior down. This could be applied to habits. Say, I'm about to scroll. Say, I'm choosing junk food. Awareness weakens bad habits instantly. 9. Why awareness alone creates change. Once habits are visible, you pause. You choose. You regain control. You stop reacting and start responding. Change doesn't start with force. It starts with clarity. Final message of Chapter 4. Your habits are running your life, whether you notice them or not. The first step to mastery is not discipline. It's awareness. Make the invisible visible, and change becomes possible. One sentence takeaway. You can't fix what you don't see. Awareness is the gateway to habit change. Chapter 5. The best way to start a new habit. The central idea. The most powerful way to build a habit is to make it obvious. Most habits don't fail because people lack motivation. They fail because the cue is unclear or forgotten. 1. Why intention alone is not enough. People often say, I want to exercise more. I'll eat healthier. I'll read daily. But vague intentions lead to vague action. Your brain needs a clear signal, a specific moment to act. Without clarity, habits never start. 2. Implementation intentions. The habit trigger formula. Clear introduces implementation intentions, a proven behavioral strategy. The formula. I will behavior at time in location. Examples. I will read for 10 minutes at 9 p.m. on my bed. I will meditate for 2 minutes after waking up in my room. I will exercise at 6 a.m. at the gym. Why this works? Removes decision fatigue, turns intention into action, creates a precise cue. You stop relying on memory or motivation. 3. Habit stacking, the secret to consistency. Clear introduces one of the most famous techniques in the book. Habit stacking. The formula. After I, current habit, I will new habit. You attach a new habit to one that already exists. Examples. After I brush my teeth, I will floss 1 tooth. After I pour my coffee, I will read 1 page. After I sit at my desk, I will write 1 sentence. Why habit stacking works. Existing habits are reliable cues. No new reminders needed. Flow is automatic. Your life becomes a chain of intentional behaviors. 4. Why obvious habits are hard to ignore. The brain prioritizes visible, repeated, predictable signals. When a habit is obvious, resistance drops. Action becomes automatic. Consistency improves. When it's hidden, you forget. You procrastinate. You abandon it. Design beats discipline. 5. Environment design, your invisible hand. Clear emphasizes, your environment is the hidden driver of behavior. If you want better habits, put cues in your line of sight. Remove distractions. Shape spaces intentionally. Examples: book on pillow reading, clean bag by door workout, fruit on counter healthy eating. What you see influences what you do. 6. Redesigning your space for success. Clear explains that one space, one purpose improves habit formation. Bed sleep, desk work, couch relax. When spaces blur, habits weaken. Your environment should tell you what to do. 7. Make the cue unmissable. To start a habit, the cue must be clear, specific, visible, predictable. Don't rely on willpower. Rely on structure. The more obvious the cue, the less effort required. Final message of Chapter 5. The best habits don't rely on motivation. They rely on clarity. If you want a habit to start, decide exactly when and where. Anchor it to something you already do. Design your environment to support it. Start small. Start obvious. Start now. One sentence takeaway. If a habit is obvious, it's hard to ignore. Clarity creates consistency. Chapter 6. Motivation is overrated. Environment often matters more. The central idea: the environment you live in shapes your behavior more than your willpower ever will. Most people think, if I were more motivated, I'd have better habits. James Clear argues, if your environment were better designed, motivation wouldn't be necessary. 1. Why motivation is an unreliable strategy. Motivation fluctuates daily, depends on mood, energy, stress, disappears under pressure. You can't build a system on something unstable. People who rely on motivation start strong, quit early, blame themselves. The problem isn't character, it's context. 2. Behavior is a function of the environment. Clear introduces a simple truth. Behavior follows cues. You don't just act from desire. You act from what surrounds you. Examples: junk food nearby, overeating; phone, visible distraction; gym nearby, exercise. Change the environment, and behavior changes naturally. 3. The power of visual cues. The most powerful cues are visible, repeated, easy to access. Clear explains that what you see influences what you do. Practical examples: fruit bowl on counter, healthier eating; book on desk, reading; water bottle nearby, hydration. Out of sight equals out of mind. 4. Designing environments for success. Clear suggests you become a designer of your surroundings, not a victim of them. Ask, what behaviors does this room encourage? What cues dominate my space? What habits feel inevitable here? Your environment should nudge you forward, not fight you. 5. One space, one habit. Clear emphasizes, each space should have a primary purpose. When environments overlap, focus declines, habits weaken, resistance increases. Examples: bed only for sleep, desk only for work, dining table only for eating. Clarity of space creates clarity of behavior. 6. Environment over self-control. Clear introduces a powerful idea. The people with the best self-control are often the ones who need it the least. They avoid temptation, remove distractions, design friction. They don't fight bad habits. They make them hard to start. 7. Making good habits obvious, bad habits invisible. Clear connects environment design to the first law of behavior change. Build good habits. Make cues visible. Reduce friction. Keep tools accessible. Break bad habits. Remove cues. Increase friction. Hide triggers. Examples: put phone in another room. Delete distracting apps. Store junk food out of sight. 8. Environment shapes identity. Repeated exposure reinforces identity. If your environment encourages learning, you feel like a learner. Encourages movement, you feel active. Encourages focus, you feel disciplined. Your surroundings silently shape who you believe you are. 9. Motivation follows action, not the other way around. Clear ends with a subtle but powerful truth. Action creates motivation, not motivation creates action. When the environment makes action easy, you start. Momentum builds. Motivation follows. Final message of Chapter 6. Stop trying to change yourself. Start changing what surrounds you. If you want better habits, don't ask for more motivation. Ask for better design. Design wins when willpower fails. One sentence takeaway. The best way to stay motivated is to make the right behavior the easiest behavior. Chapter 7. The secret to self-control. The central idea. People with the best self-control don't resist temptation. They avoid it. Most people believe disciplined individuals fight cravings harder. James Clear shows the opposite. They rarely face the battle at all. 1. The myth of willpower. Society praises strong discipline, mental toughness, saying no. But research shows willpower is limited. It gets depleted. Stress makes it weaker. Relying on willpower is like relying on a phone battery that's always dying. 2. Self-control is about exposure, not strength. Clear explains. Cravings fade when cues disappear. Temptation doesn't come from nowhere. It comes from triggers. Remove the trigger. Craving weakens. Decision disappears. Habit dies quietly. This is why environment matters more than effort. 3. The inverse of the first law of behavior change. To break bad habits, make them invisible. This is the inverse of make good habits obvious. Examples. Hide junk food. Keep phone out of bedroom. Unsubscribe from distracting feeds. Out of sight equals out of mind. 4. Why avoidance beats resistance. Resisting temptation requires constant attention, energy, decision-making. Avoiding temptation requires one-time setup, smart boundaries, structural change. The disciplined life is not a life of struggle. It's a life of fewer decisions. 5. The environment does the heavy lifting. Clear reinforces. Self-control is a function of context. You don't need to be stronger. You need fewer triggers. People who lack discipline often live in environments designed for distraction. 6. Reducing exposure to temptation. Clear offers practical strategies. For digital habits, remove apps from home screen. Use grayscale mode. Log out after each use. For food, store unhealthy food out of sight. Keep healthy food visible. For focus, close unnecessary tabs. Use website blockers. Create distraction-free zones. The goal is not heroism. It's prevention. 7. Why habits return under stress. Clear explains. Under stress, we don't rise to our goals. We fall to our systems. If your environment hasn't changed, old cues remain. Old habits resurface. That's not failure. That's biology. 8. Designing a life that requires less self-control. The ultimate goal. Make good habits inevitable and bad habits unlikely. When cues are removed, friction is increased. Access is limited. Self-control becomes unnecessary. Final message of Chapter 7. The secret to self-control is not saying no. It's rarely having to say no at all. Design your life so the right choice is the default choice. One sentence takeaway. Self-control is best practiced before temptation appears, not after. Chapter 8. How to make a habit irresistible. The central idea. We don't act because of logic. We act because of desire. If a habit isn't attractive, it won't last, no matter how important it is. 1. Why cravings drive all behavior. James Clear reminds us. The cue starts a habit, but the craving sustains it. You don't crave habits. You crave feelings. Exercise energy, confidence. Studying progress, mastery. Social media connection, novelty. Junk food comfort, pleasure. Cravings are the engine of habits. 2. Dopamine, the brain's motivation chemical. Clear explains the role of dopamine. Dopamine rises before the reward. Anticipation is more powerful than enjoyment. The brain learns to associate cues with pleasure. This means we act not for rewards, but for the expectation of rewards. If you want a habit to stick, it must feel rewarding in advance. 3. Why bad habits feel more attractive. Bad habits are usually immediately pleasurable, effortless, emotionally comforting. Good habits often feel boring, require effort, have delayed rewards. The brain prefers what feels good now. Clear solution. Make good habits feel good now. 4. Temptation bundling, pairing want with need. Clear introduces a powerful strategy called temptation bundling. The formula: only do what you want to do while doing what you need to do. Examples: only watch your favorite show while exercising. Only listen to podcasts while cleaning. Only drink specialty coffee while journaling. This strategy increases anticipation, links pleasure to discipline, rewires habit cravings. 5. The role of culture in habit attraction. Clear explains: we imitate the habits of those around us. We are drawn to behaviors that are socially rewarded, signal belonging, earn approval. 3 powerful social groups shape habits: the close, family and friends; the many, society and norms; the powerful, leaders and role models. If a habit earns respect, it becomes attractive. 6. Reframing habits to change desire. Clear emphasizes: the way you frame a habit determines how it feels. Examples: I have to exercise burden. I get to train my body privilege. Reframing shifts habits from punishment to opportunity. Emotion changes behavior. 7. Align habits with your identity. Habits stick when they match your values, your self-image, your social group. If a habit feels like, this is who I am, then effort disappears. Belonging beats discipline. 8. Make bad habits unattractive. Help the page grow by subscribing, please. I love you for doing that. God bless you. The inverse of the second law: make bad habits unattractive. How? Highlight negative consequences. Reframe costs. Remove social reinforcement. When the story changes, the craving fades. Final message of Chapter 8. If you want a habit to last, make it emotionally rewarding, not just logically useful. People don't follow the best plan. They follow the most appealing one. One sentence takeaway: make good habits attractive and bad habits repulsive. Desire decides behavior. Chapter 9. The role of family and friends in shaping your habits. The central idea: we don't choose habits in isolation. We copy them from the people around us. Human beings are wired to belong. Habits are often a signal of identity and acceptance. 1. The imitation instinct. James Clear explains: one of the fastest ways to change behavior is to join a culture where the desired behavior is normal. We naturally imitate speech patterns, attitudes, daily routines, beliefs, not because we're weak, because it's how humans survive socially. 2. 3 social groups that shape habits. Clear identifies 3 major groups that influence behavior. 1. The close, family and friends. These are the people you interact with most. Their habits feel normal, seem acceptable, shape daily routines. If your close circle exercises, you're more likely to. Eats poorly, so will you. Values learning, you will too. 2. The many, society and culture. This includes social norms, cultural expectations, trends, traditions. Behaviors become attractive when they are praised. They earn respect. They increase status. We often follow habits to avoid rejection. 3. The powerful, leaders and role models. We copy mentors, influencers, authority figures. If powerful people model a behavior, it gains legitimacy. It feels achievable. It becomes desirable. 3. Why belonging beats discipline. Clear emphasizes: the desire to belong often outweighs the desire to improve. People will smoke to fit in, overeat to socialize, avoid growth to avoid standing out. Habits are often the price of acceptance. 4. How social norms shape identity. When a group rewards a behavior, it becomes identity reinforcing. It feels right. It sticks naturally. Example: people like us work out. In our family, we read. At this company, we show up early. Identity becomes shared, not just personal. 5. Choosing environments where good habits are normal. Clear offers a simple but powerful strategy. Surround yourself with people who already live the habits you want. In the right group, discipline feels natural. Effort feels shared. Motivation feels unnecessary. You rise to the norm of the group. 6. Using social pressure positively. Clear explains that social pressure isn't bad. It's neutral. Use it wisely. Join fitness groups. Study with focused peers. Share goals publicly. Find accountability partners. Public commitment strengthens follow-through. 7. When social circles hold you back. Clear acknowledges a hard truth. Some environments reward stagnation. Growth may require setting boundaries, reducing exposure, seeking new communities. This isn't arrogance. It's alignment. 8. Becoming a positive influence. Clear flips the perspective. Your habits influence others too. When you show up consistently, model discipline, normalize growth, you change the group. Leadership starts with example. Final message of Chapter 9. If you want better habits, choose a better social environment. Belonging shapes behavior. Culture sustains habits. One sentence takeaway. The quickest way to change your habits is to join a group where your desired behavior is the norm. Chapter 10. How to find and fix the causes of your bad habits. The central idea. Bad habits don't exist to harm you. They exist to solve a problem, just poorly. If you want to break a bad habit, don't fight the behavior. Fix the cause. 1. Every habit serves a purpose. James Clear explains. Habits are solutions to recurring problems. Examples. Stress scrolling. Loneliness social media. Boredom snacking. Anxiety procrastination. The habit is not the enemy. The need is real. The strategy is flawed. 2. Cravings are about feelings, not actions. Clear reinforces. You don't crave the habit. You crave the relief it provides. Bad habits often satisfy. Comfort, control, distraction, pleasure, relief. Until you address the underlying craving, the habit persists. 3. The two-step process to breaking bad habits. Clear gives a practical framework. Step 1. Identify the cue and craving. Ask, when does the habit occur? What emotion precedes it? What problem am I trying to solve? Awareness precedes change. Step 2. Replace the response, not the craving. You don't eliminate the craving. You redirect it. Example, stress breathing instead of scrolling. Boredom reading instead of snacking. Anxiety movement instead of avoidance. Same cue, same craving, better response. 4. Reframing the habit loop. Clear emphasizes, reframe how you think about the habit. Instead of, I need a cigarette, say, I'm stressed and seeking relief. Language clarifies motivation. Clarity reduces power. 5. The downside of suppression. White-knuckling habits fails because it ignores the root cause. It increases stress. It strengthens cravings. What you resist emotionally often persists neurologically. 6. Make bad habits unattractive. Second line verse. To weaken bad habits. Highlight their true cost. Associate them with negative outcomes. Remove their emotional reward. When a habit loses its appeal, it loses power. 7. Anticipating failure before it happens. Clear introduces a strategic mindset. Predict when your bad habits will appear. Plan ahead. What situations trigger relapse? What emotions weaken resolve? What environments activate old patterns? Preparedness beats discipline. 8. Redesigning your coping strategies. Bad habits are often coping mechanisms. Replace them with healthier stress relief, constructive escape, meaningful connection. Solve the same problem differently. 9. Identity and bad habits. Clear connects back to identity. You can't break a habit that aligns with your identity. Shift from, I'm trying to quit, to, I'm not someone who does that anymore. Identity-based rejection is powerful. Final message of Chapter 10. You don't break bad habits by force. You break them by understanding. Fix the cause, and the behavior disappears naturally. One sentence takeaway. Bad habits persist because they solve real problems. Change the solution, not the need. Chapter 11. Walk slowly, but never backward. The central idea. Consistency matters more than intensity. Never miss twice. Progress doesn't require perfection. It requires resilience. 1. Why people quit after one mistake. James Clear explains a common pattern. Miss one workout, quit the plan. Eat poorly once, give up dieting. Skip one day, abandon the habit. This is not laziness. It's all or nothing thinking. People see mistakes as failure instead of feedback. 2. The power of never miss twice. Clear introduces one of the book's most practical rules. Missing once is an accident. Missing twice is the start of a new habit. You don't need to be perfect. You need to recover quickly. The goal is damage control, not flawlessness. 3. Progress is not linear. Clear emphasizes habit formation is messy. There will be off days, low energy, unexpected disruptions. What matters is direction, not speed. Walking slowly is fine. Walking backward is the risk. 4. Why showing up matters more than results. Clear explains that on hard days, motivation is low, energy is limited, confidence is shaky, but showing up reinforces identity. Even minimal action maintains momentum, protects the habit, keeps the identity intact. Success is about continuity, not performance. 5. The role of tracking and visual proof. Clear highlights habit tracking as a tool. It makes progress visible. It reinforces consistency. It motivates return after mistakes. Seeing a streak encourages follow-through, reduces quitting. The goal isn't a perfect streak. It's a living system. 6. Avoiding the perfection trap. Perfectionism says, if I can't do it perfectly, I won't do it at all. Clear reframes. Done is better than perfect. Consistency beats excellence. Most breakthroughs come from ordinary repetition. 7. Building the habit of returning. Clear argues that the real skill isn't discipline. It's returning after failure. Everyone slips. Winners return faster. Habit mastery is recovery mastery. 8. The long-term perspective. Clear reminds us, habits compound over years, not days. One missed day doesn't matter. Quitting does. Focus on trend, direction, sustainability. Final message of Chapter 11. You don't need to be flawless. You need to be faithful to the process. Move forward, even slowly. Just don't move backward. One sentence takeaway. Consistency is not about never failing. It's about never quitting. Chapter 12. The Law of Least Effort. The central idea. Human behavior naturally follows the path of least resistance. We don't choose what's best. We choose what's easiest. If a habit feels hard, it won't last, no matter how good it is. 1. Why effort is the enemy of consistency. James Clear explains, habits are formed by repetition, not intensity. The harder a behavior feels, the less likely you repeat it. The faster motivation fades. The more excuses appear. You don't need more effort. You need less friction. 2. The law of least effort explained. This law states, when faced with multiple options, people choose the one that requires the least energy. Your brain is efficient, not ambitious. It conserves energy for survival. This is why junk food beats cooking. Scrolling beats reading. Staying home beats the gym. 3. Reduce friction for good habits. Clear strategy. Make good habits easy. Examples. Lay out workout clothes in advance. Prep meals ahead of time. Keep tools visible and ready. Automate savings. The fewer steps required, the more likely the habit happens. 4. Increase friction for bad habits. The inverse law. Make bad habits difficult. Examples. Log out of social media. Remove apps from phone. Keep junk food out of reach. Add delays to impulsive actions. Small obstacles create big behavior changes. 5. Environment is a shortcut. Clear emphasizes, environment design is how you apply the law of least effort. Design spaces where the right choice is the easy choice. The wrong choice is inconvenient. You don't need discipline when friction does the work. 6. Preparing the path in advance. Clear highlights. Habits succeed when the path is prepared ahead of time. Examples. Sunday meal prep. Packing gym bag at night. Writing first sentence early. Preparation eliminates excuses. 7. Why professionals make it look easy. Experts aren't more motivated. They've simply removed friction through routines, systems, preparation. Ease is engineered. 8. Don't optimize for difficulty. Clear warns. Difficulty is not a badge of honor. Sustainable habits feel simple, automatic, natural. Hard habits don't last. Easy habits do. Final message of Chapter 12. Stop trying to overcome resistance. Remove it. Make the habit so easy that saying no feels harder than saying yes. One sentence takeaway. The easier a habit is, the more likely it is to become permanent. Chapter 13. How to stop procrastinating by using the 2-minute rule. The central idea. When you start a new habit, it should take less than 2 minutes to do. If it feels too big, you won't start. If you can start, you can continue. 1. Why procrastination happens. James Clear explains. Procrastination isn't laziness. It's avoidance of discomfort. Big habits feel overwhelming, ambiguous, emotionally costly. Your brain resists uncertainty. Small actions bypass that resistance. 2. The 2-minute rule explained. The rule states, downscale any habit until it can be done in 2 minutes or less. Examples. Read every night. Read 1 page. Exercise daily. Put on workout shoes. Write a book. Write 1 sentence. Meditate. Sit quietly for 1 minute. The goal is not progress. The goal is starting. 3. Why starting is the hardest part. Clear emphasizes. Once a habit has begun, it's easier to continue than to stop. Starting requires. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. We want to grow, be part of our early journey. Decision-making, energy, emotional commitment. Continuing rides momentum. 4. Building the habit of showing up. Clear reframes habits. Standardize before you optimize. First, show up consistently. Later, improve intensity. Increase duration. Raise standards. Master consistency first. 5. 2 minutes and identity. Small habits reinforce identity. I am a reader. I am someone who exercises. I am a writer. You don't rise to the goal. You sink to the identity. Even tiny actions count as votes. 6. Gateway habits. 2-minute habits are gateway behaviors. They lower friction, build trust with yourself, reduce internal resistance. Most big habits grow naturally from small ones. 7. When to stop after 2 minutes. Clear is clear. You're allowed to stop. Stopping is success. Because the habit was completed. Ironically, permission to stop increases continuation. 8. Avoiding the trap of doing too much too soon. Clear warns. Scaling too fast breaks habits. Ambition can kill consistency. Sustainability beats enthusiasm. Final message of Chapter 13. Make habits easy to start, and they become hard to stop. 2 minutes is not weakness. It's strategy. 1 sentence takeaway. The secret to beating procrastination is lowering the bar until starting feels effortless. Chapter 14. How to make good habits inevitable and bad habits impossible. The central idea. The best habits don't require daily decisions. They happen by default. When habits are inevitable, willpower becomes irrelevant. 1. Why willpower is an unreliable strategy. James Clear explains. Willpower fluctuates. Systems endure. Willpower fails because energy varies. Stress weakens resolve. Decision fatigue accumulates. If success depends on trying harder, it won't last. 2. The power of commitment devices. A commitment device is a choice you make in advance that locks in future behavior. Examples. Paying for a gym class in advance. Setting automatic savings transfers. Blocking distracting websites. Scheduling accountability check-ins. You remove choice, and with it, temptation. 3. Designing habits that run on autopilot. Clear emphasizes. Automation is habit formation at its highest level. Examples. Automatic bill payments. Calendar reminders. Subscription deliveries. Pre-scheduled workouts. Once automated, habits require 0 motivation, 0 discipline, 0 decision-making. 4. Making good habits inevitable. To make a habit inevitable, remove friction, add structure, eliminate alternatives. Example. No snacks at home. Healthy eating becomes default. Morning routine preset productivity becomes automatic. When there's only one path, resistance disappears. 5. Making bad habits impossible. The inverse strategy. Increase friction until the bad habit collapses under its own weight. Examples. Delete apps, not just notifications. Cancel subscriptions. Put temptations out of reach. Introduce delays or penalties. Bad habits thrive on convenience. Remove convenience, and they weaken. 6. One-time decisions with long-term impact. Clear highlights. Some decisions pay dividends forever. These include choosing where you live, choosing who you spend time with, choosing how your environment is structured. One good decision can eliminate hundreds of bad ones. 7. The ultimate habit advantage. When habits are obvious, easy, automatic, they become part of your identity. You don't try to do them. You just do. 8. From discipline to design. Clear reframe success. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. Design beats determination. Structure beats strength. Final message of Chapter 14. The best habits are the ones you don't have to think about. Make success inevitable. Make failure difficult. One sentence takeaway. When habits are built into your environment and systems, discipline becomes optional. Chapter 15. The cardinal rule of behavior change. The central idea. What is rewarded is repeated. What is punished is avoided. Behavior follows consequences, not intentions. 1. Why immediate rewards win. James Clear explains. The human brain is wired for instant gratification. Our ancestors needed quick feedback for survival. As a result, immediate rewards feel powerful. Delayed rewards feel abstract. This creates a mismatch. Good habits, long-term rewards. Bad habits, immediate pleasure. 2. The cardinal rule explained. The rule states, behaviors that are immediately rewarded get repeated. Behaviors that are immediately painful get avoided. This applies to personal habits, work performance, relationships, learning. Timing of reward matters more than size. 3. Why good habits feel hard at first. Good habits often provide delayed gratification, invisible progress, no instant feedback. Examples. Exercise soreness now, health later. Saving sacrifice now, freedom later. Studying effort now, mastery later. The brain resists uncertainty. 4. Why bad habits feel easy. Bad habits deliver immediate pleasure, instant relief, emotional comfort, but their cost is delayed. By the time consequences appear, the habit is already entrenched. 5. How to hack the reward system. Clear solution. Make good habits immediately satisfying. Ways to do this. Track progress visually. Celebrate completion. Pair habits with enjoyment. Create instant positive feedback. You train the brain to associate effort with reward. 6. The role of habit tracking. Clear highlights habit tracking as a reward. Crossing off a day feels satisfying. Seeing progress reinforces identity. Momentum builds naturally. Visual proof becomes its own reward. 7. Why punishment fails long-term. Clear warns. Punishment creates fear, not habit. Punishment increases stress, reduces autonomy, encourages avoidance. Reward shapes behavior more reliably than pain. 8. Identity and satisfaction. Clear connects rewards to identity. The real reward of habit is becoming the type of person who does it. Immediate satisfaction reinforces confidence, self-trust, identity alignment. This creates a virtuous cycle. Final message of Chapter 15. To build a habit, make it rewarding now, not someday. Delay kills habits. Satisfaction sustains them. One sentence takeaway. The fastest way to change behavior is to change the rewards attached to it. Chapter 16. How to stick with good habits every day. The central idea. Success is about consistency, not perfection. The goal is to keep the habit alive. Long-term habits are built by showing up, especially on ordinary days. 1. The myth of constant motivation. James Clear explains. Motivation fluctuates. Systems remain. You will not feel inspired every day. Waiting for motivation guarantees inconsistency. Habits must work. on tired days, on busy days, on bad days. That's where systems matter. 2. Make habits small enough to be unbreakable. Clear reinforces a recurring theme. If a habit can be done even on your worst day, it will survive. Examples: 1 push-up, 1 page, 1 minute, 1 sentence. Small habits protect streaks and identity. 3. The importance of habit tracking. Clear explains that tracking makes progress visible, creates immediate satisfaction, encourages consistency. Seeing a chain of success builds pressure not to break it. But remember, the goal isn't a perfect streak, it's continuity. 4. Never miss twice, revisited. Clear restates the rule. Missing once is normal. Missing twice is dangerous. Everyone slips. The difference is how fast you recover. Resilience beats discipline. 5. When habits feel boring. Clear delivers a powerful insight. Professionals stick to the schedule. Amateurs wait for inspiration. Habits become boring because they are repetitive. Progress is subtle. Novelty fades. Mastery requires embracing boredom. 6. The plateau of latent potential. Clear reminds us, results are delayed. Habits are compounding. Consistency often feels unrewarded until suddenly it isn't. Quit too early and you never see the payoff. 7. Focus on process, not outcomes. Clear advises, fall in love with the process. If you only care about results, you get discouraged. You lose patience. You quit early. Systems bring results. Results don't build systems. 8. Identity as the glue. The strongest habits are identity-based. I'm someone who shows up. I don't skip this. This is just what I do. When habits are part of who you are, skipping feels unnatural. Final message of Chapter 16. You don't need to be perfect every day. You need to be consistent over time. Small actions, daily presence, long-term impact. One sentence takeaway. The secret to sticking with habits is making them easy to do and hard to quit. Chapter 17. How an accountability partner can change everything. The central idea. We care deeply about how others see us. Accountability turns private intentions into public commitments. When someone is watching, behavior changes. 1. Why we try harder when someone is watching. James Clear explains, humans are social creatures driven by reputation. We avoid embarrassment. We seek approval. We protect our identity in others' eyes. Accountability introduces immediate consequences, the missing link in many habits. 2. The accountability gap. Most habits fail because the cost of failure is delayed. The reward of success is distant. Nobody notices when you quit. An accountability partner collapses time. Failure is felt now. Success is recognized now. 3. What makes a good accountability partner? Clear explains that the partner must share or respect the goal. Be honest and consistent. Apply pressure without shaming. Expect reports, not excuses. Accountability is not encouragement alone. It's expectation. 4. Habit contracts, taking accountability further. Clear introduces habit contracts, a written agreement outlining behaviors, consequences, and rewards. Example: miss a workout, donate money to a cause you dislike. Complete the habit, earn a reward. The goal is not punishment, it's clarity. 5. Why immediate consequences matter. Clear ties this back to the cardinal rule. What is immediately painful is avoided. What is immediately satisfying is repeated. Accountability adds immediate cost to bad habits, immediate reward to good ones. Behavior changes fast when consequences are real. 6. Social pressure is a tool, not a trap. Clear reframes social pressure. Used intentionally, pressure becomes support. Instead of relying on guilt, use structure. Use clear expectations. Use consistency. Healthy accountability builds trust, not fear. 7. Identity reinforcement through accountability. Reporting to someone reinforces identity. I'm the kind of person who keeps my word. People expect consistency from me. Public identity is harder to abandon than private goals. 8. The ultimate accountability, becoming the example. Clear ends with a powerful idea. Eventually, you don't need an accountability partner. You become one for others. Leadership emerges from consistency. Final message of Chapter 17. When behavior has consequences, it changes. When behavior is visible, it sticks. Accountability transforms intention into action. One sentence takeaway. The right accountability partner adds immediate consequences that make habits stick. Chapter 18. The truth about talent. When genes matter and when they don't. The central idea. Genes don't determine your destiny. They determine your direction. Success is not about having the best genes. It's about choosing the right arena. 1. The genetic lottery myth. James Clear explains. Genes influence what we're good at, not what we're capable of. People often say, I'm just not built for this. They're naturally gifted. I don't have the talent. But talent only matters if you're playing the right game. 2. Genes set the range, not the result. Clear emphasizes, genes define your potential ceiling, not your starting point. You still control effort, strategy, habits, persistence. Most people never come close to their genetic limits anyway. 3. The importance of matching habits to strengths. Clear introduces a crucial insight. The most successful people choose habits that align with their natural inclinations. Ask, what feels easier for me than for others? What drains me less? Where do I recover fastest? The right habits feel sustainable, not heroic. 4. The Goldilocks rule, optimal difficulty. Clear presents the Goldilocks rule. Humans experience peak motivation when working on tasks that are just outside their comfort zone. Not too easy boredom, not too hard frustration, just right flow. Genes help determine where that just right zone lies. 5. Why comparison is misleading. Clear warns, comparing yourself to others ignores genetic differences. You don't see their starting advantages, their natural strengths, their hidden struggles. The only fair comparison is with your past self. 6. How to find the right game. Clear offers practical guidance. Explore widely, then commit selectively. Try many things early. Notice where learning is faster. Improvement is smoother. Improvement is smoother. Enjoyment lasts longer. Success follows alignment. 7. When genes matter most. Genes matter more. At elite levels. In physical extremes. When competition is tight. But habits determine who reaches those levels in the first place. 8. Turn weaknesses into non-issues. Clear advises. Don't fix weaknesses. Avoid arenas where they matter. Play games that reward your strengths. Design a path where your weaknesses are irrelevant. Final message of Chapter 18. The best habits are the ones you can stick to. The best habits are the ones that fit you. Alignment beats effort. Fit beats force. One sentence takeaway. Choose habits that match your natural strengths, and success becomes sustainable. Chapter 19. The downside of creating good habits. The central idea. Habits create automaticity, and automaticity can stall growth. Good habits help you start, but mindless repetition can stop improvement. 1. When habits turn into routines without progress. James Clear explains, habits free mental energy, but they can also reduce awareness. Once a habit becomes automatic, you stop paying attention. Performance plateaus. Improvement slows. You show up, but you stop growing. 2. The danger of the comfort zone. Clear warns, habits make behavior comfortable, not exceptional. Comfort reduces. Challenge. Curiosity. Adaptation. Growth requires discomfort. Habits remove it. 3. The plateau of mastery. Clear describes a common trap. Early progress is fast. Habits lock in routines. Results flatten. People confuse maintenance with mastery. 4. Why professionals train differently. Clear explains, experts build habits, then deliberately break them. They analyze performance, seek feedback, adjust technique, push difficulty. Habits are a base, not the finish line. 5. Reflection is the antidote. Clear introduces the solution. Reflection prevents complacency. Regular review allows you to notice stagnation, identify weaknesses, Adjust strategy. Reintroduce challenge. Systems must evolve. 6. The role of deliberate practice. Clear contrasts. Repetition maintains habits. Deliberate practice builds mastery. Deliberate practice includes clear goals, immediate feedback, focus on weaknesses. Habits get you to show up. Practice makes you better. 7. Avoiding identity rigidity. Clear issues as subtle warning. Don't let habits lock your identity in place. If identity becomes rigid, growth slows. Adaptation suffers. Fear of change increases. Identity should guide behavior, not trap it. 8. Systems need periodic upgrades. Clear concludes, you don't rise forever on the same system. What worked at one level may fail at the next. Upgrade habits as goals evolve. Final message of Chapter 19. Habits are powerful, but they are not enough. Reflection fuels growth. Challenge drives mastery. One sentence takeaway. Habits maintain success, but reflection and challenge create excellence. Chapter 20. The importance of review and reflection. The central idea. Without reflection, habits repeat mistakes. With reflection, habits evolve. Habits automate behavior. Reflection upgrades behavior. 1. Why reflection is often ignored. James Clear explains. People prefer motion to thinking. Reflection feels slow, uncomfortable, exposing. But without reflection, you repeat ineffective habits. You confuse activity with progress. You stay busy, not better. 2. The hidden danger of automaticity. Clear emphasizes, habits remove conscious thought, and that's both their strength and weakness. Automatic habits save energy, reduce decision fatigue, but they can also mask inefficiency, hide declining performance, lock in outdated strategies. Reflection restores awareness. 3. Review prevents identity drift. Clear warns, if you don't define who you want to become, habits will define you by default. Regular reflection asks, are my habits still aligned with my values? Is this who I want to be now? What identity am I reinforcing? Growth requires intentional identity updates. 4. The habit review process. Clear suggests reviewing habits at different timescales. Daily or weekly reviews. Did I show up? What worked? What didn't? Monthly reviews. Am I improving or just repeating? Where am I stuck? What needs adjustment? Annual reviews. Who have I become? What habits should I keep, upgrade, or remove? What direction am I moving in? 5. Measuring what actually matters. Clear explains, what you measure shapes what you optimize. Bad metrics. Vanity metrics. Streaks without progress. Quantity without quality. Good metrics. Skill improvement. Energy levels. Long-term consistency. Identity alignment. Measure growth, not just motion. 6. Feedback is the engine of mastery. Clear highlights. Feedback closes the gap between effort and results. Sources of feedback. Data. Coaches. Mentors. Self-observation. Without feedback, habits drift. With feedback, habits sharpen. 7. Reflection requires honesty, not judgment. Clear stresses. Reflection is not self-criticism. It's self-calibration. Ask, what's actually happening? What can I improve? What's the next small adjustment? Curiosity beats blame. 8. Continuous improvement as a lifestyle. Clear concludes, mastery is not achieved through habits alone, but through habits plus reflection. Reflection keeps habits relevant, challenging, aligned, effective. Final message of Chapter 20. Habits create the foundation. Reflection builds the future. Review often. Adjust gently. Grow continuously. One sentence takeaway. Habits without reflection lead to stagnation. Habits with reflection lead to mastery. Final chapter. How to make tiny changes that lead to remarkable results. The central idea. Success is not the result of one big decision. It's the outcome of thousands of tiny ones made consistently. Greatness grows quietly. 1. The compound effect of small habits. James Clear reminds us, habits compound like interest. Tiny improvements feel insignificant daily, become massive over time. 1% better each day doesn't look dramatic until you zoom out. 2. Why small changes work when big ones fail. Big changes require high motivation, collapse under pressure, are hard to sustain. Small changes fit into daily life, survive bad days, build confidence, reinforce identity. Consistency beats intensity. 3. Identity is the ultimate outcome. Clear closes the loop. Every action is a vote for the type of person you want to become. You don't rise to your goals. You become your habits. Change behavior, identity follows. 4. Focus on direction, not speed. Clear emphasizes being slightly better every day matters more than being fast once. Progress is directional. As long as you're moving forward, you're winning. 5. Systems are the real advantage. Clear restates the book's backbone. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. Design systems that remove friction, encourage consistency, align with identity, evolve with reflection. 6. Embracing the long game. Clear encourages patience. Results lag behind habits. Trust the process. Stay consistent. Let time do the heavy lifting. 7. Becoming proof that change is possible. The ultimate transformation. You stop chasing motivation. You trust your systems. You become living evidence that small changes work. Your life becomes the case study. Final message of the book. Tiny habits don't just change what you do. They change who you are. Change the system. Honor the process. Let consistency compound. One sentence takeaway. Remarkable results are the byproduct of ordinary actions repeated consistently over time.